Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing today? Today, even. Welcome to twitch.tv/IceCreamUploads. Do I sound like a fucking horrible robot or not? What are we saying? Can anyone tell me? Shogun says, ish! You're goddamn right. Especially on a Tuesday. Especially on a Tuesday. We are factoring. Right. No, it sounds good. It sounds good. Audio doesn't sound horrible. That's good to know. How are we all doing? How's things, Show? I didn't drop into the chat, but I did drop into your Shaggery stream last night, watching you get absolutely sold down the river by the people that you were playing with on Among Us. So, yeah, nice.
As always.
I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less. It's the only reason I'm a sub on Show's channel, just to watch him get treated badly by the people that he plays with and the people that watch him. That's all we ever tune in for, right? But, yeah, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing on this bright and cheery Tuesday? There we go, Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. And it's absolutely not bright and cheery. Manchester is grey and horrendous outdoors. But how are we all doing? For those of you who don't know, my name is Graham Day. This is Baby looking super comfy and chilled in those chairs. Yeah. And we together are Ice Cream in true Ice Creamy fashion. This is The Scoop. Your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond. Some may say this is the UK's #1 video game podcast, and we might be those people, but it still counts. It's fine. Daniel, thank you very much for the host, dude. Welcome into the chat as well. Hey, audio is all good. I appreciate the feedback. Thank you. It's famous content creator and Twitter personality at Shogun Ash Live. Oh, and hello everyone else, says Mr. T. Good morning, Mr. T. Gray here too. It's that time of the year where you get. It starts off grey, and then you might have a torrential downpour, and then you might get blistering sunlight for about 3 minutes, and then it's just roll the dice. But we wouldn't be British if we weren't talking about the weather, because that's how we always start things in the UK. But anyway, I'm only slightly a big deal. Says sure. That's. I mean, we appreciate the modesty. Leather-bound books and smells of mahogany. What?
Anchorman.
Oh, okay. See, that's not a quote that ever sticks with me. Literally, the only thing I ever remember is like, I love lamp. That's about it. Anyway, welcome in. We're going to give you our thoughts and impressions of the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games today. And we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions so we can create a little bit of a discussion. And it's important that you do, because even though we are live at 10 a.m.-ish, and it's a big issue because it's 10:51, even though we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.-ish, we turn this into a podcast, a video for YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud, as well as Google Play. So feel free to get involved in the chat with your thoughts and impressions on behalf of everyone watching at home and listening on demand a little bit later on. Before we jump into the news, though, we do have our normal talking points. First of all, we are closing in on 2K followers, so make sure, if you are new here, hit the follow button. When we hit the milestone, we will start a giveaway, so we give a little bit of something back to all of you guys for helping grow the channel. As well as that, for those that help support the channel, if you're a subscriber, make sure you are in the Discord and you've linked your accounts. When I say that links your account, when you're in Discord, make sure you've linked your Twitch account to your Discord. If you don't do that, our Discord won't see that you're a subscriber, and the reason you need it to do that is because we're giving away a copy of FIFA 21. We do the loot drop each and every single month, the first Monday of the month, where we give a little bit of something back to our subscribers, and this month's giveaway is FIFA 21, so make sure you're in the Discord if you're a sub. If not, you're wasting your money. Don't do it.
It's Monday, isn't it?
It is, yeah, this Monday, Monday 2nd of November, so you've got to be a subscriber, got to be in Discord, and have your accounts linked on Monday. It doesn't matter if you're a sub now and it finishes on Sunday, you need to be a sub on the day it's drawn. That's the way it's fair, so there you go. You have to be a sub on the day of the draw, and the draw is the 2nd, so yeah, get involved. If you do want to see any more, ! FIFA 21 for information about the giveaway, ! Loot drop about the general loot drop, and ! 2K, just to remind you that we're almost closing in. No, we are closing in. We're almost on 2K followers. Anyway, babe, look good in the studio there. You alright, love?
You alright? Yeah, I'm alright.
Let me jump into the split screen.
So these chairs, as comfy as they are, they're definitely not. They're not camera chairs. Like I'm slouching. You can see me tits like sitting on top of my belly. It's like I'll have to lift the laptop up a little bit more so you can just about probably see my face. I have no idea what I'll look like, so I apologise for that. I mean, I'm still a good-looking lad, but it all depends on how I'm sat. In fact, I can see it. I can see it. I look fucking great. What am I talking about? Hey, I look quality. Hey, good looking lad. Hey, represent Asin. Here we go.
Yeah, nice bit of product placement. That hat though, that's the one I'm talking about. I mean, if only I was wearing the. Oh, I'm wearing the same hat, but you've got the flat peak version, whereas I've got the curved brim. That's nice.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
That's lovely. Anyway, let's jump into some news. And we have some interesting news. No, not that news. That is interesting news, but that is Woolworths. Woolworths has just reopened in the UK. That's the wrong tab. Interesting news. Seems like bullshit to me. But anyway, let's jump back in. First news story of the day. This is something that is an evolution of something that we discussed previously and we thought was potentially a negative. This, I haven't read through the article, but on first look, looks like a horrendous negative.
Prepare yourself.
So Andy Robinson at VGC says Oculus users who delete a linked Facebook account will also lose purchases. I mean, this does anybody in chat have an Oculus Quest 2 or any Oculus device? I mean, what are your thoughts and impressions around Facebook taking over Oculus and having to have a Facebook account to continue using Oculus in the future? Obviously, it's not the case now. Any new accounts now? Anyway, do you know, actually, I'm taking thunder. Let's go through the article and we'll start that discussion. But keep those thoughts in mind. Drop them in the chat when we get there. So new VR users required a Facebook account from this month following the Quest 2 launch. Oculus VR headset users will lose access to their game purchases if they delete their linked Facebook account. It's been revealed. Starting with the release of Quest 2 this month, everyone using an Oculus device for the first time will require a Facebook account, the firm recently announced. Existing users have the option to merge their Oculus and Facebook accounts. However, they do not have to do so until January the 1st, 2023. According to Upload VR, Facebook confirmed to the publication that owners of the original Quest, Rift, or Rift S who haven't yet linked their profile can still delete their Facebook account and Oculus Store purchases will be unaffected. However, existing Oculus users who do not merge their Oculus and Facebook accounts will lose some functionality after January the 1st, 2023. There is an embedded tweet there, which I will ignore because it's probably going to be referenced in the article, and we'll just get a bit of repetition. Anyway, after that date, those without Facebook accounts will be able to continue using their device, but without full functionality. Purchased content will be accessible, however, and Facebook said it expects some games and apps may no longer work. Wow, we have some absolute spammage going on in the chat.
Yeah, I'm on it. Don't worry, carry on, I'm on it.
Okay. Just change the chat to follow mode. If it carries on, that'll get rid of them. Okay, I will continue with the article. Thank you very much for the ban hammers, guys. We appreciate you jumping on that. This is the downside when both eyes are on a news article. We don't see the chat going top heavy, but yeah, it's dead. It's all sorted. Cheers, guys. Anyway, after that date, those without Facebook accounts will be able to continue using their device, but without full functionality. Purchased content will be accessible, however. Facebook said it expects some games and apps may no longer work. All future unreleased Oculus devices will require a Facebook account, even if you already have an Oculus account. Giving people a single way to log into Oculus. Actually, let me start that again because this is a quote. So giving people a single way to log into Oculus using their Facebook account and password will make it easier to find, connect, and play with friends in VR, Oculus said in August. We know that social VR has so much more to offer, and this change will make it possible to integrate many of the features people know and love on Facebook. Okay, Oculus has claimed that the majority of users already logging into Oculus with a Facebook account to use features like chats, parties, and events or tuning to live experiences in Oculus venues. That's people are already logging in. I may have missed that word. It sounded like I missed it in my head, but yeah. Okay, there we go. We got through that. Let me just make sure everything is sorted in the chat. Do you know what? We do want to buy followers. I could see that out of the corner of my eye as well, and I genuinely thought chat was popping.
Chat's flying today, lads.
And I was like, I'll look at it in a second. I don't want to look at it because I'll get distracted, and then bloody hell, God, that's the first time we've had that for a while. Yeah, next time that happens, I mean, if we don't see it, Madge, feel free to turn chat into follow only. That gets rid of them then. Just for a short
nice
time.
one, Madge, for sorting them out. Legend.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Cheers, dude. Cheers, dude. Phew! I mean, it's just like boom, boom, bam, Cheers,
I think
Madge.
I can clear chat actually as well. In fact, no, because that'll get rid of what people have commented.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So, if you're an Oculus user, you don't have to link your Facebook account yet, but you have to do it by the 1st of January 2023. If not, you will start to lose functions and some games potentially won't work. If you do link your account any time between now and then, you can never delete it or you will lose all your purchases. If you don't link an account, you can delete your Facebook account. It's fine. Whatever, it's not linked. You can then create a new one. Job's a good one. But as soon as you link it, you can never get rid of that account or your purchases are deleted. Interesting. Bib, what are your thoughts?
Interesting that they think that this product's going to last for the next 3 years without people having to link their Facebook account. You have until 3 years' time to be able to link your Facebook account. Do they think that this product's going to be around in 3 years' time? I don't know. The product could be absolutely amazing. I mean, I've seen Metal Jesus Rocks play this compared to the PlayStation VR, and he said he was a massive advocate of the PlayStation VR. It was probably one of the best VR experiences I had. This compared to that, though, the Oculus just shits all over it nowadays. It's like 1080 in both eyes rather than 720. I mean, we've played obviously VR in here, and it does feel quite grainy. Like when you're looking through it for a long period of time, some of the games don't look great. This is obviously the way that the future is. However, adding your Facebook account to it does not future-proof it. I think that's a massive barrier of entry. It's something we talk about quite a lot when it comes to new technology, having a barrier of entry. And Facebook, for me, I am not the target audience for Facebook. I have a Facebook account to do work bits on more often than not, and to look at Facebook Marketplace to potentially buy some golf clubs. That is it. I don't use it for anything else. I don't want to know what the latest and greatest thing in Facebook is. It's just a platform that I think I have outgrown. Twitter is my main social media platform. I've got Instagram. I've probably post once a year on it, if that. So having it as a... Would it have the same feelings if Twitter... I had to use it with Twitter? Maybe not. I'd probably have some slight reservations, but I am active on Twitter all the time. If anyone needs me, they go to Twitter. Like, unless they have my mobile phone number, they go to Twitter to talk to me. That is my main platform. It's what I use to do work and to talk to my mates on. But Facebook, I know they obviously own Facebook. That's the reason why they want you to do it. But for me, I've absolutely outgrown Facebook. I don't use it for, like I said, it's very rare that I use it. So it's it's a huge barrier of entry. I don't understand the thoughts behind it. Is it something? Do they think that this is going to rejig Facebook and make it seem cool again? I have absolutely no idea. I don't know the thought process behind it, but I absolutely know it's the wrong one.
It gives me the idea that Facebook wants the universal account. So you've got your is EA's account still called the Origin account or Origin, or is it called EA account? I don't know what they call it now. But then you've got like
Origin for PC.
Whatever your EA account is that you log into. So if I get FIFA,
it's Origin, it
asks me to log in, and then you've got your Ubisoft accounts and your Konami IDs, your PUBG account, because Daniel's in the chat. So it seems like they want to link everything to one central account across platforms. I just don't feel like it needs it. I understand that Facebook is their big account. I understand that it is linked into so much other things, but I don't feel like it for me, I don't want that to be hand in hand. I love the idea that, yes, Facebook has an incredible wealth of information. I do not use Facebook as often as I used to do 10 years ago at all. I hardly ever use Facebook anymore. But there is so much stuff in there in terms of I can load up a cafe down the road, look at their menu. I could probably link. They're thinking maybe I can click on that and link through and use the VR stuff and go and visit the cafe and turn around and look at it. Oh, this is amazing! Wow! Why can't I do that with an app on the Oculus store or something along those lines? Why do I have to do that from my Facebook account? There is no need to do that. And this is Facebook, like bull in a china shop approaching how to one, become more relevant with a younger audience, and how two, to be successful in gaming. Their Facebook gaming stuff has been I mean, I'm not going to comment recently because I haven't investigated it much over the last 6 months, if I'm honest. I know there's a lot's happened with the Mixer merger and then getting new accounts and so on, and we do have another article on Facebook Gaming, to be fair, so I will jump into that into it in a second. I haven't investigated Facebook Gaming in the last 6 months heavily, but before that, they threw a lot of money at it and then pulled all investment from it over and over again in poor ways. They tried to buy content creators exclusively, and then they let them all go, and then they got other ones, and they Facebook Gaming, yeah, let's go to Gamescom, we'll have these pods and it'll be all cool and we'll get it. Okay, nice. So if I join Facebook and I'm on Facebook Gaming, I can like Twitch, I can go and look at the catalogue of everyone's on there and browse all the other streamers. Oh no, we don't have that. No, we've got Facebook Gaming, and you go to facebook.gg/Bibby. Okay, yeah, but I know that now because I know he exists. But what if I didn't know him? I can go to facebook.gg and search for Bibby. Oh no, there is no category where you can just view people in rank order. I mean, there is. I think there is now.
Yeah, there is.
So for
I think over the last 3 weeks, Facebook's had like a bit of a, what do you call it? Facelift, shall we say, on the desktop at least.
Pun intended.
As that, it for me, I think it looked worse. There's a lot of things to be able to, like Facebook Marketplace is now separate. What's that called? Groups? Yeah, groups. No idea what that is. Watch, separate tab, and then right at the end, the new Facebook Gaming logo. So if you click on that, it'll give you like a smart. You can go through what looks like Twitch. It basically is just Twitch. We've got all the most watched games and then suggested streamers and things like that. So they've tried to emulate what Twitch looks like, but on like a backdoor to Facebook.
So yeah, in summary of that, they've not really had a concise plan. It's almost like Stadia and Google's approach to gaming, cloud gaming there. We're just Google, so it'll work. We're just Facebook, so it'll work. So they've gone in bull in the china shop and smashed shit up. And I do not like this idea whatsoever. If you have a PlayStation account, a PSN ID, an Xbox account, a Steam account, you can, I don't know actually so much about linking accounts on Steam, but on PlayStation I could link it to my Facebook, or I'm assuming I can do the same on my Xbox and so on as well. If I then get rid of my Facebook account because, let's say, something horrendous, there was Facebook, I linked to a member of my family and they die, and I've got their photos all over my Facebook, and it's just a painful memory, so I want to get rid of my Facebook account. I want to delete it completely. Or I've had something was compromised and Facebook was the result of it. I didn't need it anyway, so I'm just going to get rid of it because I've lost loads of money as a result of this. Whatever it is, I get rid of my Facebook. Don't lose my PlayStation games. I keep my PlayStation games and my Xbox games and my Steam games. That's fine. They want PlayStation to be a central, like, behemoth of an integral piece of content in your life. That's fine, but I don't need to tie my games to that. If you want me to, my Facebook to be able to tell me where to go for dinner and book my things and buy some off the marketplace and watch a video and things like that's fine. I do not need to link my purchases to that. So the fact that I want to get rid of my Facebook account and I lose all of that, and I didn't like the idea that it was linked anyway in the first place. I knew things like this would start to happen. So when it was first announced, I was completely against that. But yeah, this is even worse. We're not even touching on the fact that Facebook has all of the data of all of everything you have ever done ever. So I'm always dubious of that. I always turn my cookies and things off. And not that it changes anything, but I just don't like people knowing more about me than I want them to have. Yes, I've given them permission somewhere and not realised about it, but I don't like that idea. Everything's always cloak and dagger. It's always, when you get the opt-in, opt-out options, the opt-in option is always a green box with flashing lights, and the opt-out is always a plain text line underneath that. So you opt in, and sooner or later you'll click one somewhere so that you give someone access to your information, and that is a ship out of the internet, and that is something that Facebook heavily thrives on. So I don't want them in my video gaming. My video gaming is something that I break away from the rest of the world and I want to escape. Maybe not break away from the rest of the world if I'm jumping onto Twitch, but the idea is still the same, escapism.
Yeah.
I don't want Facebook fully integrated into that to the point where they trap me. Okay, I'm sorry, you've bought games for your Oculus. If you want to play that, you need to keep your Facebook account. No, but I don't want to. No, if you get rid of your Facebook, I'm going to get rid of your games. That's blackmail. What are you doing? You can't force me to do something, but clearly they can, and it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful.
The dumbest thing about it so far, though, is that you obviously have to have an Oculus account now for the next 3 years to be able to buy and play games. Yet, in 3 years' time, when you link up and sync your Facebook account to it, your Oculus account therefore becomes redundant and is therefore tied to your Facebook account. It just seems counterproductive to have an account with them already that you've already bought games for, to then merge into another account, have like a massive major account, and then if you delete that, it's all gone. Like, fair enough, if you want to have Facebook integration into it, that's to access your friends list or to stream directly onto Facebook or whatever it is that the reason why they're doing it. Fair enough, but don't make it so that it's the only login information that you've got. Because what happens to all the games that you've got now? Are they just going to merge to the Facebook account later on down the line? Is that Is that what you need to do? Like, it said that if you don't sign up to Facebook, then everything becomes limited. Fair enough. I'd much rather take the limited stuff, if I'm being honest.
I think a lot of people are kind of seeing that, but that's only for people that have accounts now already. Anyone who creates a brand new account now will automatically have to do it with Facebook. So only legacy people will be able to play it without those extra stuff. Anyone who decides, I want to get into VR, I like the idea of an Oculus Quest, you have to create an account with Facebook permissions and everything already integrated. There's no way to opt out of that now for new users. Let's jump back through the chat. Well, I'll say through the chat. Through all of the spam. Bibby looks like he's just about to go live with Holly and Phil on Good Morning Britain.
Me and Gino, the Campo best mates.
Or, like he's about to get grilled by Piers Morgan on GMB, says that's him. Ooh, maybe. Gary says, Oculus. I like that one. Oculus.
Nice.
Shaw says, sounds pretty obvious, delete your Nintendo account and you lose those purchases too. Shaw. But that's the thing though, you can delete your Facebook account, but you don't lose your Nintendo purchases. You delete your Facebook account and you lose your Oculus purchases. That's the difference for me. Robert Daniel, fuck off, you twats! Gary, we're getting bombarded here. Gagad, I'm already famous in my head. I love you guys. Some major spam going on here. I blame Shogun Ash and his fame. That's it. He comes into the chat.
Yeah, exactly.
Daniel says, want to become a delusional streamer who needs to buy followers because they lack one of three pillars of successful streamers? Come top this shady website and be sure to give us your card details. We promise to definitely not share them with anyone else. BigTwats.com. Want to be at Shogun Ash Live? Visit twitter.com/Shogun Ash Live. Hey! Madge says, phew, we appreciate you killing all those, Madge. I got a work call at 11, so I'll be unavailable for a while. No worries. Jess says, not banning show. The temptation is strong. It's always strong. Even when he's not in the chat, it's always strong. So, yeah. Daniel says, if I had any want to buy an Oculus, it has been removed now. I think that was kind of happened in the first step. So when Facebook announced this a month or so ago, that you have to link your Facebook account to your Oculus account, a lot of people were instantly like, well, that's it, you've killed VR for me before I've started. I was waiting for an opt-in point, and the latest Quest device looks decent. Is that the Quest 2? I think it is. I think it's following the Quest 2 launch. So the latest Quest 2 launch was fairly successful. I saw unanimous praise. I didn't see a review of it that was bad. But the Facebook stuff just instantly goes, well, you had my attention, and now you've just got rid of it. And this just takes that a step further. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Half an eye in the chat, but meh. I prefer to go to your OnlyFans, baby. Well, that's true.
Well, yeah. Special offer at the moment.
Going to Lurk script meeting. Oh, nice. Enjoy the script meeting. Feel free to share all of the details in the chat right here now. Yeah, nice. Facelift for all your plastic surgery needs. We need to get shares in those for our Master League series because we keep changing the faces of players once we sign them. So there you go. Gary says, the ironic thing about Oculus is that one of their products is called the Rift. Very ironic, that. And that's it. I mean, this is a Rift. It is a Rift. I mean, I see Shaw's comments about if you delete your Nintendo account, you lose your games. You do. But you don't have to then... When you buy a Nintendo, you're not plugging your Switch into your photo gallery and into products that you may purchase secondhand from someone else, or your geolocated taggings to let your family know that you're going to Spain for a week or whatever. There's a degree of separacy. Is that a word? Separacy?
Separacy.
We'll go with it. Pretend it is. And if it isn't, don't correct it. It's fine. So there's a degree of separacy there. And you can choose to do both, but do them separately. If I want to get rid of my Facebook, it's a completely separate function that I don't necessarily need for the rest of it. Facebook can run Oculus and Facebook separately. Facebook, though, want to feed themselves. The reason they want to tag it in is because there is a lot of cool things that can be done there. Don't get me wrong, there will be stuff that Oculus can do when it's linked to Facebook that it can't do if it's not. There will be some benefits, but you don't need it. And I think Facebook is at such a point where its reputation has been tarnished so much that by tying it in, you could just be offering positives. But people don't want to be linked to it. People don't want to be linked to it right now. That the Cambridge Analytica, you've rigged elections that have put countries through years of austerity and through years of Donald Trump. So fuck. I mean, you've done some horrible shit. So people don't want to be linked to you. Some people might do as a result of that, but not everyone. And the fact that you are forced into using it and then sticking with it is horrendous. We know you didn't want this, but you have to have it. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, all right, fine. Okay, and now not only do you have to have it, now you've accepted that, you can never not have it. What? You have no way of leaving this horrid relationship. You are stuck with it. If you want to leave, then you can walk out the door, but you don't take anything with you. We keep it all. What the fuck? Yeah, that's toxic, Facebook. So yeah. Anyway, sticking ahead with Facebook, let's jump ahead since we're all enjoying talking about Facebook. Facebook's dedicated game streaming service, Facebook Gaming, is now live in the US. Actually, let me just jump off that a little bit. The show says a more equitable comparison would be deleting your Google account and losing your YouTube data and your Stadia data and all the things they own. And equally, POS company. What does POS stand for in that? Because POS, I used to work in retail.
Point of sale?
Yeah, I'm going to say, I used to work in retail. POS is point of sale.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Oh,
there we go. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that one, but nobody has Stadia. So that's fine. That's fine. People might actually want to use Oculus. So yeah. I mean, to be fair, the Google account stuff is slightly different. Because Facebook has more of a grounding in real life, which Google tried to do. I'm not saying Google aren't a piece of shit company. Google tried to do that with, what was it called? Google Plus? Is that what it was called now? I can't remember. It's been that long since I've done it. So Google tried to be Facebook with Google Plus, and it looked really good, and it wanted to do all the same sort of things that Facebook can do. So they want to do the same thing. I think the issue, the thing that makes it less of an issue is Google is more functional. Not entirely. This is a very sweeping statement because you can have photo albums and stuff on Google, and you can have all sorts of personal detail in there, whatever. But Facebook wants to be your everyday, live and breathe personal stuff. Google obviously wants to do that, but at present is more supportive, functional as opposed to frivolous functional. So Facebook has your Instagram. It wants you to post pictures of your meals, whereas YouTube wants you to use it for work-based spreadsheets and things like that. Not YouTube, Google. Obviously, very, very sweeping statements, but I think that's why it's probably less offensive for a lot of people. Anyway, let's jump up into the next bit. Facebook's dedicated game streaming service, Facebook Gaming, is now live in the US, written by Don Peppiatt for VG247. The article says, Facebook Gaming has gone live today. Oh, there you go. Allowing users to play a series of games without downloading any apps in a bid to take on other gaming services like Google Stadia. Speak of the devil. 5 free-to-play mobile games have been made free-to-play. Surprising. Wow. Really? Via the Facebook gaming service, though at the moment you can only play these titles in the US. If you're keen to give Zuckerberg's latest experiment a try, you will need to have either an Android device, or a PC and access to the Facebook gaming app. You can play popular titles like Asphalt 9 Legends Mobile Legends Adventure, PGA Tour Golf Shootout, Solitaire Arthur's Tale, and WWE Supercard via Facebook Gaming if you're so inclined. Cloud gaming is about expanding the types of games we already offer, so we'll start with the format people enjoy playing on Facebook. Free-to-play games, says Jason Rubin, the newly appointed VP of Play, in a blog post posted by the company. That's one of the reasons why we're starting with games typically played on mobile devices. In the future, our systems and infrastructure will improve to deliver more types of games, possibly all types of games. Until then, rest assured that the cost of trying our cloud games is $0. More games are due to arrive on the platform soon. It looks like Facebook wants to routinely add more titles to the service as time goes on. The next title that will be added to Facebook Gaming is Dirt Bike Unchained, which is set to arrive sometime in the coming weeks. If you're an iPhone or iPad user and want to get your fix of freemium games, don't fret. Though Facebook Gaming is unavailable on iOS right now, Facebook is keen to get the Apple's platform on Apple's platform sooner rather than later. There are just a few legal hurdles to overcome first. While our iOS path is uncertain, one thing is clear. Apple treats games differently and continues to exert control over a very precious resource, explains Rubin. Stay tuned as we work out the best way for people to play games when and how they want, regardless of what device they bought. Facebook Gaming is planned to expand to territories outside the US in the coming months. With or without Oculus considered, you decide, babe, but what are your thoughts on Facebook Gaming?
This is interesting for a different set of reasons. The way that I've read this story 3 times, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Does this mean that you can now play mobile games on Facebook without the likes of BlueStacks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that is a little bit that is a bit more interesting for me, because I don't know if anybody else is or played it recently, but FIFA Mobile, I am seriously addicted to it. And I was trying to find a way of being able to play that on my PC as BlueStacks wouldn't run it. Like, it just kept on closing every time you opened it. I could play the older versions, but not the newer versions. So being able to play some popular mobile games on your PC without having to put BlueStacks in, that's a good thing. I like the fact that you're able to transfer them things. There will be things that you can't play, like PUBG, for instance, and COD Mobile. Surely those things can't be playable on your desktop through Facebook, because that'd just be cheating, unless they segregate those people out. So I like the thought process that they've got going forward. We've absolutely ripped them apart for the Oculus stuff, but this, for me, down the line, could be a good thing. Mobile gaming is obviously massive, and unless you find the right game, it will be looked down upon. So, like, games from yesteryear, like Farmville. How many Farmville clones are there now on mobile phones that make a shit ton of money? Like, it doesn't matter what mobile game it is, it'll make money if it's good enough, or a game that you could play for 4 or 5 minutes, put it down for 2 hours, go back to it because your energy's recharged. But if you chuck in a few microtransactions in there, people are going to buy it, and it's just mobile gaming now is a hell of a lot more. Not wealthy, but not investable. What's the word I'm looking for? No, not even marketable. It makes the most money out of all gaming media.
Profitable. Because
it's accessible to it. Profitable, that's the word, yeah. Because it's accessible to absolutely everybody. And there is a mobile game for everybody. More often than not, they are free to play. So again, the barrier of entry is non-existent. Having games like this now, top tier games coming through Facebook, that chances I'm not going to play with anybody else, but it means that I can play games like FIFA Mobile potentially, or WWE Supercard, another one that's listed in there, is a game that I have played the absolute living shit out of. I love that game. PGA Tour Shootout, I've played that a few times. It's not as good as Golf Clash, but it's in the list. So these games are extremely popular games that are probably going to be easier for people to stream. I wanted to be able to stream playing FIFA Mobile if I wanted to, and I can't do that. I haven't got the wire to be able to do it, but if they're doing it through the Facebook stuff, then I can do that. That's not a problem. But yeah, I think credit where credit's due. If they are bringing these popular games to PC, it then opens the market up to a few more people who can then potentially stream them. We just get looking at it from a content side. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it.
I mean, ignoring the Oculus stuff, if I have a Facebook account and I have access to Facebook Gaming, I do like the idea that I can launch games through them. We do step into the realm of, do I need another launcher? I mean, will they get to the point where you don't need to download anything? I mean, when you need to download something, at the moment they're saying that they don't want it to be something that you download. They want you to be able to just play games as they are, and potentially in the future maybe any game as they are. I like that idea, like a web browser based launcher. You're using Facebook to play the games. I love the idea, because that's the same thing that we've been clamoring for with xCloud and Stadia and the Nvidia. What's it? Nvidia game, is it now? Not Nvidia or whatever. And whatever Nvidia's cloud gaming option is. I want to say Now Gaming, but maybe
GeForce Now.
GeForce Now. That's it. So Facebook doing that is another one that's trying to do cloud gaming to allow you to play games anywhere. They've taken a different route. So I'm not going to analyse whether I think Facebook should be doing this or whatever. I mean, I have a Facebook account, and I do use a Facebook account. I don't want my Facebook account linked to everything, because Facebook doesn't really offer me anything apart from an avenue to connect with my family. This is Facebook starting to offer things, though, that are different. And I'll step away from that, though, and look at it from the perspective of... Look at the way that cloud gaming has been launched. You've got Microsoft with xCloud, or whatever it's called now. I'm just going to keep calling it xCloud. Because they launched in beta, and they tested in different areas and rolled it out across the world, and they started to find ways that they can link it in, and they want to try give you Game Pass and get the xCloud service linked in together. Okay, that's nice. You've got Google Stadia, you've just gone, we do everything, but actually we don't really do anything, and it's not working very well, and we don't know what's happening now. And one thing we do know is that streamers should pay developers to be able to play the game. So that's Stadia's option. Different, obviously, full of pitfalls, but then you got GeForce Now, who went into beta, then went live, and they tried to get a number of brands on board from launch. Didn't realise that they hadn't secured them properly with the right contracts, lost brands or whatever. But forgetting the pitfalls in and amongst all of those, there's 3 different ways of trying to launch cloud gaming. Facebook have decided to go, okay, we don't want to run at COD, because people are going to play COD on PlayStation or PC. We don't want to run at Halo, because people are going to be playing that on their Xbox. Why would we bother with that? So what we're going to do is we are going to look at games that we are known for, and then try to build out from there. So the Farmvilles and the things that you've mentioned previously, Facebook are going after that mobile gaming market, which is, if I'm being honest, probably one of the smarter decisions that they've made around Facebook gaming. Even though it doesn't speak to me generally, most of the time I don't play mobile games. I have a few installed on my phone, but it's the same. It's the games that I have on my mobile are my console and PC experiences when I can't play them. So I have PES and PUBG installed on my phone for when I'm not playing, or when I'm away and I can't play, which obviously because of COVID is never now. But I have the options there. So Facebook, for me as a gamer, doesn't necessarily speak to me, but for its audience, it gives them a good area to build from. And if they can then build on that to the point where they can start adding things in that are actually on par, and we get to the point where cross-platform and cross-progression is a thing, and I'm going away with work and I've just got my laptop, but I can actually jump in and play another either another drop into a battle royale, just take my controller and just sync it up to my laptop and play on Facebook. I love the idea of that sort of stuff. When you start getting to that point, Facebook gives me stuff that ties into gaming. That stuff like that makes me then think, okay, well, the Oculus stuff I don't want, but you're at least giving me reasoning for it. So they are kind of building towards it, but still. I like the Facebook gaming inclusion. I like the fact that they're sticking with Facebook gaming, and they've taken a different stance on it, and they've actually been you've probably seen, if you're in Twitch, I know from a UK perspective there's a lot of UK football content creators on Twitch, and a number of those have been approached and taken to Facebook. Facebook has signed exclusive contracts because Facebook has realised doing it the mixer way of taking Shroud and Ninja is not necessarily going to make you work. What you need to do is build from the ground up and create a community and let them excel. So streamers like R9Rai, who is a FIFA content creator, now streams exclusively on Facebook gaming. There's a few others and I've forgotten them all. The only other one that comes to mind is Paul TV, who was approached.
Marshall as well. Is it Marshall 89? Yeah.
So Marshall went previously, then came back, and now has gone to Facebook Gaming.
Yeah.
I know Paul TV was approached and turned it down because he wanted to stick with Twitch, which is exactly what I would do, unless it was a Dr. Disrespect kind of figure. Then nah, it's not for me. You'll be back soon. But yeah, they are making good moves as well as horrendous decisions as well at the same time. That Zuckerberg has a lot to answer for, the little rugrat. For the younger audience, that is an old man having a seizure. Google Plus, aka We Do Things with Circles. It was easy on the eye, but that was it. The Oculus is a great name, but that enforced Facebook account will stifle interest and sales. Madge says, I play Supercard still, baby.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's a great game. It's a game that you can probably play for like 40 minutes, and then you've done quite a few of your tasks for today, then you don't need to go back to it. Same with FIFA Mobile, which is why I like it. The team that I've got on that now is amazing. Like, I'm grinding the shit out of that.
Is it like 5 years old now? Maybe a bit more.
Supercard.
Yeah.
I think it might even be older than that.
Yeah, maybe like 7, 8-ish. I don't know. So it's been around a long old while anyway. But yeah, anyway, let's stick a pin in Facebook. They've had a lot of airtime. So Oculus users, you will have to link your accounts to Facebook if you haven't done already, and you will never be able to delete that account ever, because that's the way it's going to work. So if you do that, you will lose all of your games. So a negative coming out of Facebook, whilst the Google Stadia competitor Facebook Gaming isn't necessarily a negative if you have a Facebook account, it seems like it's a positive. It's a positive. Games in browser and PC, mobile, and tablet only on Android devices for now. Yeah, nice. I mean, do you know, I'm not even going to jump into the final bit about the iOS, because the comment did seem I will brush past it so we can move ahead. The comment from Rubin, it says, while our iOS path is uncertain, one thing is clear. Apple treats games differently and continues to exert control over a very precious resource. If that is not a strong-handed, not saying anything compliment, because he isn't saying anything, but he's definitely saying something.
Yeah.
So that's basically Apple, sort your shit out. Stay tuned as we work out the best way for people to play games when and how they want, regardless of what device they bought, which is basically saying, we want to work with Apple, and people want to play games where they want, and we're going to make it happen. But it's not going to happen right now, and that's Apple's fault. That's what he's basically saying, which Google have been critical of Apple, but not to the level that obviously Epic have, but they have been critical, but that's just another sly dig at the way that Apple treats gaming on their system. I do still think that Apple do need to change the way that they operate games and try to control games over that system. I do think it's unnecessary control that doesn't need to be there. But yeah, interesting to see. Anyway, told you we won't stick on it too long, so let's move forward. Enough of Facebook gaming. Let's get back into console gaming. And do you know what? Seeing as we've had some bad news, let's stick with what I assume is bad news. I will see the article. I haven't read the article, so let's go through. Halo 5 is not getting a dedicated Xbox Series X upgrade. Written by Don Peppiatt for VG247. I mean, on the surface, I assume it sounds not good to me. Let's see if it actually unfolds. 343 Industries has announced that Halo 5 won't be getting a dedicated upgrade for the Xbox Series X, but standard next-gen improvements will still be applied to the game. Over on the Halo Waypoint site, Halo developer 343 Industries has stated that Halo 5 won't be getting the same Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S upgrades that its massive sibling title Halo the Master Chief Collection will be getting. Last week, Microsoft confirmed that the Master Chief Collection will come to Xbox Series X and Series S with the ability to run at 4K on the Xbox Series X and 1080p on the Xbox Series S, with both consoles running the game at an eye-watering 120 FPS. The same, though, can't be said of the most recent entry into the franchise, Halo 5. After we announced the enhancements that MCC would be getting on the Xbox Series X and S, we did see questions rolling about how Halo 5 would play on the new consoles, says community manager John Unishek Junsiek of 343 Industries. While Halo is not getting the same optimizations for Xbox Series X and S as MCC, owners of the next-gen hardware are still going to see the benefits of faster load times and consistently higher resolution gameplay. That means you can expect to see the games get the same sort of upgrade that many other Xbox One games will get on the hardware, thanks to the X and S's hardware. The news isn't too bad though. The Master Chief Collection appears to be where most players these days are gravitating to and has a lot more content than Halo 5 Guardians to enjoy. And if you're excited about the more modern side of Halo, at least you can take comfort in the rumours that 343 Industries may be shipping Halo Infinite's multiplayer and single-player game modes separately. Interesting. I mean, maybe it's not as negative as I thought, but what are your thoughts, babe?
If this is your flagship game, it needs to be the absolute best that it can be. And I don't understand why they haven't tried to do that with this. The game has been delayed. I can't even remember the reason.
Halo 5 has been... Halo Infinite even has been...
Yeah. But in terms of this... Sorry, yeah. Halo Infinite was the one that's been delayed, but this is Halo. This is your flagship game. Why aren't they trying to get the best treatment that they possibly can? Is it because they're out of resources because of Infinite? I don't know.
That's my thoughts. I mean, Halo Infinite was supposed to be the console seller, the big one that is the all singing, all dancing title that launches the Xbox Series X and S. We got to see it 3 months ago. It didn't look anywhere near what everyone expected from it. Naturally, it was delayed after that. I heavily expect that is the reason why. 343 Industries will be... If they aren't crunching, which I hope they're not, if they aren't crunching, they will... I expect they're not to be. They've put the game back, but I expect they're still working hard on it. So I don't expect them to have the availability, at least until Infinite is out, to be able to put time into this, which... For me, kind of, if that is the case, kind of makes me think, how far off was Halo Infinite from being what it was supposed to be?
Yeah.
Because if you've fully upgraded the Master Chief Collection for the next generation, Halo 5 should surely be in the same category. Surely you'd be upgrading that to be another reason to come and play it on the next generation, and then another reason to play Halo Infinite. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the plan, but has been shelved because of the delays to Infinite. Certainly not infinite resources. Hey, man.
Nice work. But yeah, it seems weird. Like, if there's one game that you want to try and be the absolute best for a new console, take your best franchise, which a lot of people probably would argue against it nowadays. Obviously, you got Gears of War, Forza, and Halo. I would still say Halo is the strongest. The numbers are probably the other way, as in Forza probably brings in a lot more money than Halo does, but I think Halo will always be Xbox. When you think of games for the Xbox, my first thought is Halo. I don't know whether that's a skewed perspective because of how much I love Halo. I don't know, but with a flagship game like this, don't say it's not happening. Just say it's something that we could potentially look to in the future. That's probably the best way to put it, rather than just outright saying, no, it's not happening.
I imagine they've probably, rather than having that tie-in for the future, I think they're probably so under the cosh, they don't want to promise something that they might not then deliver, so they've just gone, yeah, it's not happening. If it does come back in the future, they might jump around at that point in time. But yeah, it is a bizarre one to upgrade the Master Chief Collection. I don't know, maybe I mean, the Master Chief Collection was being redone for PC anyway. Maybe they decided to work on the Master Chief Collection whilst it was in progress, and they never had the plans for Halo 5 to be that. Maybe that was the case. If that is the case, it's not a negative, really, in that sense, because they've not done anything. For me, I still feel it's more a case of Infinite has drained resources. So anything around Halo has just been kind of, squashed a little bit because of that. Gary says, I reckon that if Infinite doesn't do as well as it should, Xbox will move development to a new studio away from 343. I reckon they're on their last chance now. Could be. Madge says, Halo is Xbox for me. Then it's that iconic menu music. That's where we need Alistair back in the room. Yeah, I mean, I would say probably for me Gears, because I never got into Halo, and I did Gears of War on the 360. That was my first Xbox console, and absolutely loved Gears of War. Obviously dropped off from the series then, so I would say Gears is more Halo, more Xbox for me. But yeah, I can understand that. For a lot of people, it's usually one or the other, and then for those that don't like those games, it's probably a Forza or something like that. Halo is Beyonce for me. Halo! That's true. Good morning, Salty Dog. How's things? Forza for me, says Gary. Though Halo's treatment has hurt its brand value. Asim says it's okay if they don't move away from 343 Industries. They've got another 342 industries they can go to. Hey! And this is Asim, who works for 2K. And if anything ever goes wrong with that business, then they'll just drop down to 1,999. It's okay. Anyway, let's move on from Halo. So Halo 5 isn't getting a next-gen upgrade, at least not for the time being. Not that they've said that anything will be coming, but you never know. You never know. Speaking of games that might not be coming, this one definitely is, just not as soon as expected. Tom Ivan from VGC says the PS5 launch title, Destruction All Stars, has been delayed to February when it will be a PS Plus game. Interesting. The title was previously scheduled for a full price release in November. So Sony has delayed the release of Destruction All Stars from November the 12th, 2020 to February 2021. Originally planned as a full-price PS5 launch title, the vehicle-based combat game will now be released next year when it will be made available through PlayStation Plus for 2 months at no additional cost. Destruction All Stars is a multiplayer game that's at its best when you're competing with gamers online from all around the world, said Pete Smith, Director of Product Development at Sony Interactive Entertainment. We want as many people... Do you know, I'm going to hit play on this whilst I'm talking. We want as many people as possible to experience the mayhem on PS5, and what better way to do that than to provide the game to our PlayStation Plus members. Smith added, this may be disappointing news for some of you who are looking to play the game at launch, but we hope you understand the decision. For those of you that have already pre-ordered the game, be it via PlayStation Store, PlayStation.com, or at retail, your purchase will be refunded. A new trailer and more information about Destruction All Stars, which is developed by Lucid Games, will be released next week. October's PlayStation Plus games are Need for Speed Payback and Vampire. I actually haven't got those, so I need to make sure I get those. So, Destruction All Stars has been delayed. It is now no longer a full price title and is a free PS Plus game. Bib, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I think I've changed my opinion on this. I said when this got shown in the PlayStation State of Play a couple of months back, I said this game looks absolutely fucking toilet. I said there is probably no chance in hell that I will ever play this. Make it free to play and baby's all in, baby. We'll give it a try. So yeah, this is one that I'm just watching the trailer again now. I don't think this. Yeah, this is the announcement trailer, so it's still the same trailer. I don't know why it looks a little more appealing, but I want to know the thought process as to, is it because their pre-orders were so low that they think this would do better as a PlayStation Plus game?
That's my thoughts. I genuinely believe that will have had something to do with it. I mean, there's potential other reasons too. The fact it looks like Rocket League, which was a huge success as a PS Plus game, will probably be something that will have always been in their mind throughout development. I don't feel... let me just get rid of this. There we go. So I feel the fact that it looks like Rocket League, that will have been a question that they will have been asking themselves and everyone else, every meeting. You do know it looks like Rocket League. Should it not be free to play? Look at how good Rocket League is. Blah, 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 blah. They'll have probably had that baking all the way through development. So I think that will probably be a little bit of it anyway. And then you've had another extreme case study for PS Plus in terms of Fall Guys. That's just come out and absolutely set the world on fire. Plus, you're obviously releasing the game at launch. You'll be alongside the likes of Cyberpunks, the Valhallas, even Watch Dogs and stuff like that. I know some of those release a little bit earlier, like Watch Dogs is out 2 days' time.
Yeah, I
But
think the first players went up today, didn't they, for Watch Dogs?
I did there. So you kind of distance yourself from that window. You at the moment it's a bit intense. You are competing for a lot of column inches, a lot of stream inches. By moving to February, you get yourself a little bit of a gap, so that's also a benefit. So you've got the fact it looks like a PS Plus game. There's another case study more recently of games setting the world on fire by being PS Plus and being a bit more daft and casual. And this game absolutely is daft from when looking at the trailer, over the top kind of stuff. So that would suit PS Plus. You distance yourself from everything else that's coming out and competing for airtime. But yeah, I definitely.
What is it?
What is what?
What is the game?
It's. I get some form of destruction derby sort of vibe to it. It's a race, but you're also destroying other people and stuff. I
honestly couldn't tell you what kind, because for my immediate thought, it looks like Rocket League in a destruction derby setting. But then I'm watching the trailer and people are getting out and jumping and kicking each other. So can you do that? Can you get out and can you beat the living shit out of each other and then become a brawler rather than a destruction game? I have no idea what this game is.
I did see,
and that's probably what put me off originally.
I did see some comments that the new trailer that is coming is aimed at combating some of that. Maybe I'm getting this wrong and mixing it up in my head, but as far as I was aware, that was the idea of the new trailer. Gives you a little bit more detail of what the game actually is, and I think that's probably leading on to what the final point was. Obviously, the one that you mentioned is that the game you don't refund money. You don't get rid of money if you still want to make money. You don't give
for a 50 quid game.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't a 25, 30 quid game. This was a top tier AAA budget game. So you're charging full whack for this.
So you don't give money back if you still plan to make money off a product, and you only do that if you're not actually giving that much back. So I don't believe it's pre-ordered anywhere near as well as they wanted to. So they're not losing much. They're just you've got to speculate to accumulate. Okay, we've got a bit. If we put that back in, we might get a lot more. It's a bit of a gamble, but it could work for us. But I think part of that reason for crap pre-orders is I remember watching this in the PlayStation conference and thinking, do you know what? It looks okay. There's a bit of charm to it, but I don't really understand it. And I think that's probably the message that everyone shares. Bibby just said the same thing without even being queued up to it. It's what is it? What is it? And I think if they explain what it is, build a bit more hype for it, and then give it away for free, it's definitely going to be more successful than it ever could have been, as it is right now as a launch title. Asim says, mad that this has gone from a £50 launch game to a free PS Plus game. Great decision by Sony, says Gary. There is no way that this game is worth £60, and I bet pre-order numbers showed that. Absolutely. Mad says, some curious news on Destruction All-Stars. Sounds good, but equally worrying that it's now free. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think I wouldn't necessarily see it as worrying. The only way that it could be worrying is if you don't like battle passes, expect it to have a battle pass now it's free. Or loot box stuff. But I because it's a Sony first party title, I don't expect it to go down the loot box route. So I think more battle passy kind of thing is where it's going. PlayStation developing this as a first party title will probably want to try and make it free to play so that they can have their own crack at the global winning free to play titles. The issue that they do have with it though is the Fortnites and the Rocket Leagues are universal. You can play them everywhere, and to an extent Fall Guys is as well, even though it's not on Xbox consoles. Whereas if this has been made by Sony Interactive Entertainment, it will always be hampered by the fact that you can just play it with friends cross-played on Xbox and PC and Switch and PlayStation like you can with Fortnites and things. But yeah. Two thoughts. Either they realised it's not worth it, or they wanted a hook for PS Plus for PS5 launch, or near enough. No, I think the hook one probably is more likely for me. I feel like they would use it as a big title that pushes PS Plus. It's not a big title on its own in comparison to the other big titles that are coming out, but if you have that as a big title in that quiet window, I say quiet window, anything can happen between now and February, but for now, is there anything scheduled to come out in February? I don't think so. So yeah, that's a big okay, you can get it now. It's a big game for us. It's an exclusive release. Nothing else is coming out in February, and you can get it on PS Plus. Make sure you get your PS Plus now. Boom, boom, boom. Please do the same with Bug Snacks, please. just let it die. Just let it die. I still think it looks like Rocket League mixed with Fortnite, says David. It looks like Rocket League on acid, said Gary. It doesn't look as good as most releases, and I guess they have to pick something for PS Plus. Yeah, the fact that it's Sony built as well, I imagine this was always going to come to PS Plus at some point, maybe not to begin with. But do you know what? If you've made a game like this and it's not doing well, that rolling the dice at free to play is just going to... You can only lose what you put in, which could be millions. But if they're not going to make it all back with pre-orders and selling it physically, then they're still going to lose money anyway. By putting it free to play, it's definitely a good roll of the dice, and it gives them the PS Plus coverage too. So they only have to refund 50 quid back to customers, says Gary. Asim says, well, you're getting 150 quid back then. Hey! So yeah, 75% of all pre-orders have been pre-ordered by Gary. There you go. Anyway, final bit of news, sticking with PlayStation and the next gen-ish. Written by Don Peppiatt once again at VG247. This says, God of War runs at 60 FPS and will support PS4 save games on PS5. That's what we'd like to see. God of War will run at 60 FPS on PS5 and will support your saved game data from the PS4. PlayStation developer Sony Santa Monica has confirmed. If you decide to boot up God of War on your PS5 from November 12th, you'll be able to select Favour Performance option from the game's menu. This will allow you to boost the game to 60 FPS. Though this option is available on PS4 Pro, we imagine the PS5 version will be more stable and consistently operate at around 60 FPS. The developer has not made it clear if the resolution will go beyond 1080p if you choose this option though. Additionally, you'll be able to pick up from where you left off on PS4 thanks to save transfers. The developer hasn't outlined exactly how this will work just yet, but it's nice to know that you'll be able to carry over from where you left off or even start a nice new game plus adventure, even if you're keen to ogle the game on the next gen tech. If you're keen for more Norse action, you're in luck. Sony's big PlayStation 5 showcase in September ended with a teaser for a God of War sequel, which will apparently be called Ragnarok. The PS5 launches in just over 3 weeks. There you go. Nice. Question, babe. God of War.
Yes.
Will run at 60 FPS on the PS5, and you can continue your game save on the PS5. Why, with this being a first-party Sony title, can't we do it with Spider-Man, babe? Tell me now.
I knew this question would come up, and Graham, I know you already know the answer, and that's because this is not a remaster.
Correct.
This is literally just using the power that's already available within the console to run a game that's already been previously made, shorten the loading times down, blah blah blah, up the frame rate. It's exactly the same game. There's been nothing changed in this game apart from you're playing it on a much more powerful console. Therefore, yeah, you're gonna have to transfer your saves over and play the exact same game again.
Yeah. Still good news though, so if you haven't played God of War, or haven't finished it, like I haven't, surprise, there's a number of games like this that I'm just not going to bother with now. I was interacting with a tweet from one of the guys at Marvelous Europe yesterday. He was like, who has games that they own that they aren't playing now because they're waiting for the PS5? And I was like, maybe me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's me. That's me. So there's a number of games that I'm not going to play now because I'm waiting for that. PUBG is not one of them. I will continue to watch my PS4 struggle and set fire to itself every time I smoke grenade this phone, but that is what it is. That is what it is. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me tediously use exclamation mark. Is it smoke? Hey, there we go. Anyway, that's the end of the story, end of this scoop, and end of the show for today. There is no additional streams today, remember, Tuesday. We're usually in the office. I'm not, for COVID reasons, but Bibby is in the office. As you can see, right there in the ICU studio. It says Bibby's home, but we're lying. We are going to disappear. We will be back tomorrow with another episode of The Scoop, though. So make sure you join us for that. Before we do disappear, last one of the week. Good shout. Anything you want to add, babe?
Yeah, again, thank you very much for everyone that's joined us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. We've had some good discussions. It's been a good news day today, to be fair. We've got some right juicy bits in there. The news articles have been few and far between in terms of quality. The writers just need to do better, you know what I mean? We need some more juicy stuff to talk about. But yeah, thank you very much for joining, guys. If you do have any video game news that you've seen that you think you want to get your first impressions on, but you also want to hear ours, there's 2 ways that you can do that. First of all, find us on social media. Spoiler alert, it is Ice Cream Uploads across absolutely everything. Second way, get into our Discord. There's an area in there called The Scoop. All you need to do is drop in URL, add your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions for the last time this week. At what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
10 a.m.
Ishimo.
Ish. I was too busy typing something else, but there you go. Ish, push. Hey, we got some ishes in the chat. Salty Dog says God of War, I believe, is free on the PS Plus in November. Is that true? Ah, okay.
That's huge.
Accept cookies. Fuck it, just because. And if you don't get it in November, that's not something to be worried about as well. Because I don't know if you didn't see it in the PlayStation conference. There is the PS Plus collection. And that is a list of games that are on the PS4 that will be available to everyone on PS5. So it includes games like God of War, but also other games like Batman, Arkham Knight, The Last of Us Remastered, The Last Guardian, Mortal Kombat 10, Uncharted 4, Until Dawn, Infamous, blah, 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 blah. So it will be in there anyway. So even if you don't get it in November, which you should do, it will be part of the PlayStation Plus collection anyway. Final bits of housekeeping. There is only one more episode of The Scoop this week, as Bibby just mentioned. That will be tomorrow. I'm not around on Thursday and Friday, so join us at 10 a.m.-ish for that. Reminders that we are doing a giveaway at 2K followers, and we're doing a giveaway on Monday for subscribers at the channel. Exclamation mark loot drop. Loot drop will give you that information right now. Yeah, nice. Okay, we are going to disappear. Thank you for joining in. Go out, enjoy the sun. No, you can't do that. It's absolutely morbid and miserable out here. But hey, do you know what? It's fine. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Until then, stay frosty.